Good afternoon. This is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. We're live on LinkedIn and live on Facebook, and we're just going to give this a second here to allow the live stream to start coming up on LinkedIn. And as soon as I see that starting to come up, we're going to get our conversation started here today. And I just want to welcome all of you wherever in the world you're joining us from. If you're joining us from beautiful Troy, Michigan, someplace in Metro Detroit, perhaps some other place in the world, you might be joining us during the live session here today. You might be joining us during playback, but I would encourage you, wherever you're watching us from, if you could drop a comment below and let us know that you are in fact joining us, and we'll have some opportunities to address some of those comments. We'll welcome you on the screen. It looks like we're going, so I'm going to go ahead and end our beginning stream here, and I'm just going to say a warm welcome to Tara Tomcsik-Husak, who is the president and CEO of the Troy Chamber. Tara, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Just very, very busy.
Good. Yeah, it's crazy times, isn't it? And you know, this wasn't on the calendar for my LinkedIn live schedule. It was just, you know, I was kind of thinking a little bit earlier in the week, and I'm a member of the Troy Chamber. I've been watching the emails, and you just like every other organization are kind of faced with the same thing, which is canceling your conferences and events. And it seemed like there was an immediate reaction, you know, which all of us was kind of, you know, we all kind of like had to do the same reaction. Was like, okay, what do we have in the next week or two? And then, you know, then it was like month or two, even like, what do we need to do? And then the second wave of communication started to come out, which was, and I saw some from Troy Chamber, which were, hey, how can we help our fellow Troy Chamber member businesses? And, you know, I kind of thought to myself, I mean, as an entrepreneur, independent consultant, there's work that I do with individuals and businesses, and my business is going to be affected as well. So there was an immediate, I think we all kind of just took hold of what we were looking at, and then we're like, okay, what can we do to help? And I saw the Troy Chamber doing that immediately as well. And I said, well, gosh, how about we jump on a live? And I reached out to you, and it was like, was it 24 hours, 48 hours ago? It wasn't that long ago, Tara, right?
Let's do it.
Right. It was like half hour ago. I'm like, let's jump on live here. So this is going to be live streamed on LinkedIn and Facebook. And we're also going to include a playback link that you can share out to Troy Chamber members. Before we get into our conversation, Tara, what I'd like to do is just take a moment and see who's online with us right now. And if there's anybody who's online with us who's a Troy Chamber member, definitely let us know that. Drop a comment below and let us know what the name of your business is. And if you are offering any specials, deals, discounts, things like that, let us know that as well. So looks like we've got a good handful of folks that are on the session, about 50 people viewing right now. Comments are not quite trickling in, but sometimes my phone has a little bit of a delay. So I'll probably pop out there in a little bit, Tara. But why don't we?
Multitasking.
I mean, we're always like kind of multitasking throughout. And if you watch my live sessions here too, you know I don't make mistakes. I sometimes have learning experiences, and this might be one of those, right? Like the phone's not quite kicking, so it's kind of like a ketchup bottle. I might need to bang it on the bottom, and then the comments will start coming through here. But so let's get started here. So let's talk right away about, you know, Troy Chamber. What are some of the ways that you would offer to fellow chamber members how we can support each other? And you can talk about what you're seeing chamber members doing right now, or in a broader sense, how we as small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, how we can support each other.
Well, I think first and foremost is that this is affecting every business. This is not small, this isn't large. Now, it may affect you more in certain aspects. I mean, we obviously see what this is doing to our restaurants, to our theaters, to our gyms, all of the above. And they're struggling pretty hard just on the premise that they have a bunch of employees that they're trying to take care of and support, but they don't have, obviously, the business coming in like they used to. So a lot of the transition and changes that keep happening, and this is daily. So I think being proactive about saying, hey, we're trying to be as proactive as possible, but we're also being all very reactive in this situation. So I would say for our members is one of the things is understand what they're going through. Like a lot of us are at home, a lot of us are struggling to figure out, and we are staying home, which is the right thing to do. But we can still get carry out. We can still get delivery orders. There's ways to do it safely. I was laughing because I went to a bunch of members actually and try to get some social media pictures going so we can showcase, hey, You can get carry out. They're dropping it off into your trunk. Like there's ways to work with them. And I'm laughing because I'm holding literally a bottle of Lysol. And I'm opening the door handles and going from there. We're staying our 6 feet away from each other. But there are ways to support these businesses and still being safe. And I think first and foremost, we have to understand that if we don't support our businesses today, they may not be here tomorrow. So it is more than important to start focusing on taking care of each other and giving support we can. I think the other factor is we have to step up our game from communications. So when we have members reaching out to us who are in need of something, we are the resource. We're the ones who are helping to navigate them through these problems, get them to the right contacts. If it's something along the lines of understanding what's going on in unemployment law, if it's working with our politicians, we are the connective piece. So we're trying to connect everybody still in that way. I think also the main focus is, again, stepping up the communication. You have some issues, reach out to us. We're willing to help share. We're willing to help get this information out to the public. And we have to be creative in how we do it. So no, we're not overly posting everywhere, but we're going to have to be a lot more social.
Yeah. And that was something that, you and I we were talking about before we jumped into the call today, is we're in this really unprecedented time, and nothing like this has, I don't think, ever happened to any of us, where, back after, 9/11, it was a few days of disruption followed by a few weeks of travel, and the businesses were a bit bumpy, and there were some after effects of it, but it was pretty much back to business as usual not too long thereafter. And right now, we have I feel like there was a disruption right away, and we all kind of got our bearings. And I think your offices, you said you started working from home last Friday, was it? And a lot of other businesses are going from either partial shifts or reduced shifts and whatnot. And now we're in this, okay, it's not business as usual, but now we need to get back into this new business as usual mode for the foreseeable future, right? And it's setting up our home offices, it's determining communications out to our teams, but it's also, I think, going to be a community effort. And I really loved your thoughts there on we need to support small businesses. So thinking about our patterns of behavior, where do we shop, where do we dine out, where are we giving other businesses our business, and how can we continue to do that? So the idea that you mentioned about taking photos, so is that something that's going to happen? You'll start posting some of those photos on social?
So we have a lot actually planned for what we're going to start doing moving forward. So a lot of restaurants we're showcasing right now. So I went to 7 restaurants today.
Wow.
But we want to make sure that they understand we have to support them. So anything we can do to do that. And I mean, I was chuckling, we're taking selfies and doing silly things, but it was because I actually walked into a few of the restaurants and they had a few customers coming up. So I was actually at Sweetwater today. And a customer in there, and he goes, "How can I help?"
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I was like, "We're going to do a social media feed." He's like, "Let me hold this sign, move the sign so everyone can see."
That's great.
Oh, and it was actually inspiring because you see all the employees and workers out here who get it, and they're trying to give their support. I was at Seasons, and I was laughing. They were filling the trunk of a person who was trying to do a large catering order. And I go, "Hey, do you mind if I take your photo? Because we're going to post this out." And she was laughing. She goes, "Yeah, look, I have my gloves on." So she had gloves on.
Yeah.
And in the bag. And I was like, we're all pushing different initiatives to be forward thinking and being safe. But it's nice to see that the community is embracing this as well.
Yes.
I think one thing that's going to be interesting that we're going to starting next week is I'm actually going to be interviewing at least someone from every single industry that we cover. So whether you're a dentist, whether you're a financial advisor, whether you work in IT, we're going to be doing one-on-one interviews and posting those every single day on our social feed, explaining how this is affecting each industry and how you can support them. So that's going to be a big push and pull. So it'll be nice to see that as well. Oh, there's
I'm going to drop a couple of these as you're talking about them on screen, and I'm trying to do the multitasking thing again here. So Sweetwater's Troy was one that you mentioned, and then what was the other that you mentioned?
Oh gosh, Seasons.
Seasons. What is it? Is it just called Seasons?
Seasons 52.
52. Okay, so I'm gonna do my Google search. You guys are gonna watch me navigating as we're going throughout here.
Oh, I love that.
Right, and just kind of up on screen. I want to give these businesses some visibility because this is a platform where, you know, when we're online, kind of here talking and things are kind of in the background, I think it can help people out as well. So I don't think there's the reserve a table thing right now. I think I may have jumped into the wrong menu here. If I go back into, let's see if I can go back to the home menu here.
Sure.
So if we go Michigan and Troy here. There we go. So anyways, there's another one. And then was there a third one that you mentioned too, Tara?
Well, I mean, it's really funny. So one of the ones I was laughing because I will say all of our people, we all have to think out of the box now. We've got to be more innovative in how we're reaching our customers.
Right.
And I actually got a text message from Sedona Tap House, and I'm chuckling because it was like, hey, 50% off wine. You can get bottles of wine at 50% off. And I can tell you now, I could drink a lot of that.
Was that the one too? I just saw it, I think, on Facebook a little while ago, because aren't they doing growlers if you drive up too? Like I think I tagged my husband in the post because he's, you know, he loves his craft beer and everything. Chris Meller, he loves drinking that. So I said, this is really great. I think it's cool to see the different, you know, offerings that they're doing, and they're getting creative. They're not, you know, it's not just like carry out and go. It's like, okay, now you can fill up your growler. And there's another place, I think I said margaritas curbside or something too. I was like, yeah, let's have that, because we're all needing a little bit of that stress relief right now. Hey, I want to take a quick pause if you don't mind, Tara, and just look like we have a few folks, and I'm going to drop some of their comments here. We have Gabriel who's joining us on Facebook here. So here's a little bonus for you guys. If you are watching the live stream on LinkedIn, I have to pull the comments up from the phone, but if you go on facebook.com/Meller Marketing, I can actually pull your comments up on screen. So a little additional visibility. It goes right embedded in the video here. I'm going to give a shout out here to Erica Owens as well. And look, I think you know Sheila, don't you?
Yeah.
Sheila is awesome. Sheila's on the team there at the Troy Chamber. And I want to pull up her profile on screen right now because Sheila is, she's got a really clever tagline in her, her header here on LinkedIn. I just want to pull that up on screen to show you guys here. And this kind of just describes her personality. Yes, I can help make that connection. Like, perfectly describes her personality and the work that she does there at the chamber. So
well, and Sheila's really boots on the ground. I mean, what she is trying to do for our members, she is reaching out daily. She's trying to figure out what their needs are. I mean, it's amazing what she is doing, and it just shows the resilience of the Troy Chamber as well. And Sheila's been doing such an exceptional job of making sure all of our members understand how important they are to us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then it looks like we have a couple more folks on LinkedIn, so I'm just going to pop over real quick and see what we have. Got some comments. We got 11 comments coming in here on LinkedIn now. Keith Stonehouse, you'll have to teach me how to do this. Oh, wait, next month. I think Keith and I are going to be moving from in-person meetings to some webinars here. Neverick is saying photography is definitely taking a hit right now. And, you know, definitely I could see that. It's a business where you may not want to go and get your pictures taken right now. Brian Wethy says hello. Hi, welcome, Brian. Melissa Tremblay says, what do you recommend for businesses that can't work? I'm a photography studio. Interesting question there, something to think about. Lisa Burden says, glad to hear Sweetwater is still open. I'll stop by for a coffee when I run to the office to check the mail tomorrow. And she says hi to you, Tara. We have Julio saying pretty cool initiative. Dee Wilkins is working from home. Hey, Dee, hope you're doing well. And, you know, we definitely have distractions of the little ones online right now. And my son just closed my door. I think I'm talking too loud right now, but you know, it is what it is. Deal with it. No. Bonjour, Brenda. Dress is joining us as well. And Charles Versalone, I believe Charles is a Troy Chamber member. Charles is online. And Charles is asking a question here. Did the Troy membership card already there? Did you move it for this session? Hey, I'm not sure what the question is, but your membership is always good here, Charles, right? Very good. And then a couple other folks online as well that are saying hi and welcome. So thank you all for joining. If you're just joining now, drop us a comment, whether you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn. Let us know where you're watching this from, if you're watching it live, if you're watching it in playback. And if you are a member of the Troy Chamber, or really any business for that matter, you'd like to drop your business name below and we'll give you a shout out here in the session. So continuing on, Tara, let's talk about what the Troy Chamber is doing and how you're pulling together the resources for chamber members.
Well,
And
just to backtrack, if we don't mind. So
sure.
the person who's talking about photography.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that you should start focusing on is how you're engaging with people from a social network. And what that means as well is reach out to some of your older clients and making sure that they are sending positive reviews or any reviews.
It's a great idea.
To pull some traction and some attention toward you. I think the more engagement we can start doing is the better. But I know it's difficult, but these positive reviews are going to drive people to pay attention to what you're doing. Showcase your work, showcase some of your ideas and how you want to move forward. I think this is also a time to take a step back and re-strategize what your plans are for the future. We're not going to be in this for fingers crossed.
Right.
But right now, once we get out of this, what is your plan of attack? Use this time for strategy. Use this to focus yourself moving forward and what you can best do to suit your business for more business.
I love that idea of getting reviews and recommendations. And, you know, I'm a heavy LinkedIn user. So I always tell people, like, when you have a client that's jumping up and down, loves working with you, if you're connected with them on LinkedIn, request a recommendation from them and you gain some real estate on their profile and it goes on your profile as well. But, you know, let's not forget about, you know, Facebook review, Google review, Yelp if you're a restaurant. And what I would tell people is, copy and paste the same review and put it on all the sites. Make it, you know, I'm like a lazy marketer, so to speak. I'm like, figure out once and then copy, paste, put it in all the places. And like what I do is if I'm giving someone a review, or a recommendation on LinkedIn, I'll say, if there's other places I can give you this recommendation or review or testimonial, let me know. I'd be happy to, because they're going to know, yep, we're on Yelp, we're on Facebook, we have a Google page, you know, all those great places. And, you know, building for the future, definitely, Tara, because this too shall pass, right? We're temporary right now.
This isn't coffee. No, I'm just.
Neither is this. Too funny. Too funny. So great tip there for, you know, photographers or anyone who's affected and there's like an imminent, you know, kind of impact to your business and things are really just ground to a halt right now. But let's plan for the future. It's a really great time of reaching out, networking, reconnecting, you know, jumping on calls like we're doing here, you know, whether they're video calls or just kind of, you know, checking in. Hey, how are you doing? How's your business going? And even photographers reach out to one another and share resources. You might think of ways that you can help to support each other through the times right now too. Yeah. So we want to shift gears to talk about the Troy Chamber resources now.
Sure. So one of the great things is it's still in process. So I want you all to know that we are continuously working on that. But if you go to troychamber.com,
Yep.
And if you go to the community tab.
Okay. So community, let me go here. Okay. So right here, community. Okay.
So if you scroll down, you'll see a site called COVID-19 resources.
There we go. Right here. Okay. Perfect.
So what we're doing here, if you want to scroll down a little bit.
I'm going to put this link up on screen here so people can read this as we're going through. Okay, perfect.
So if you scroll down, you can actually see that we are going through all of our restaurant members.
Wow.
We're specifying. So each one of those is hyperlinked. So you can go to their page as well. So what's interesting about it is we're specifying what they're offering. So is it carryout? Is it delivery? Are they offering any discounts at this time?
Wow.
Now, discounts or offers, that's always going to be subject to change. So please also reach out to the restaurants to communicate that. But we're trying to create a one-stop shop for all of the community to come to see all the different restaurants, how they can enjoy their services and how they can order. So we're updating this as we go, but if you want to scroll through all that, we're also, you can go down all the way.
Okay. I'm just looking, I'm like, where am I going to eat dinner tonight and tomorrow? I'm like looking at all these really great offers and, you know, who's still open. I mean, we're not shutting down entirely. And a lot of them have, I think I saw Olga's on your Facebook too. They were doing some type of a discount or something too. So I'm kind of looking, I'm getting ideas. I'm getting hungry right now, Tara.
So one thing I will stress, so not only that, we pay attention to all of our social media channels. So our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, LinkedIn, because we are going to be showcasing menus all the time. We're going to be showcasing businesses. So it's a great way for you to be engaged and active and understand what's going on in our business community. So I cannot stress it enough to not only look at these pages, but look socially, because we're all going to be reaching out for help. But if you scroll through, you see we also have local health information.
Okay.
So we
Yep.
Troy resources, Oakland County, Michigan, CDC. We
Mm-hmm.
offer different options for working remotely. I know a lot of us are struggling with that.
Yeah.
And find ways that we can engage and ways to work with your employees. This is not easy. This is brand new for us to be working remotely, and we're testing all these different options to see what makes sense and how we can move forward and have proper communication amongst a team.
This is really great. This is really, I love how you put everything. It's so nicely organized in here too.
So as you scroll down though, you will see some sad parts. So as you look at the chamber events, you'll see a lot of things have postponed.
Right. Yeah. Well, naturally, right?
What was that?
I said naturally. And are you now, I'm seeing some organizations, it was like the initial focus was we need to cancel everything that we have at least for the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm even seeing some, my latest one that was canceled so far was like the first week of May for a conference. And I think people are kind of getting their bearings. And now I'm seeing organizations starting to kind of pull together resources for online meetups, or I've seen some organizations that are doing like an employee happy hour, which is, virtual happy hour. But is the chamber looking at making any of its events virtual? Have you thought about, kind of looking at that at all yet?
We're way ahead of the game. So we are actually trying to find different tools, because keep in mind, not everyone wants to participate in video. Some people are uncomfortable with that. So we're looking at ways to do it within Facebook, other video streaming options, and connect each other. So that's one of the ways. So we're going to start putting our events out that are going to be virtual very soon. A lot of the we had to build from scratch. This isn't something we're used to doing. So we're still working out what makes sense and what's the best way to do that. But the other factor, again, in having those information when we're like sending out those interviews of the businesses, we're asking you to engage. We're asking you, please tag us in some of these questions and concerns so we can have an active community. So there's ways we're doing it, but events for sure, we are going to start going virtual. We're going to start doing some video. We are definitely going to have some happy hours. We can actually operate as normal once we get all the proper technology put in place.
That's really great. And I think we're all kind of trying to help each other out here and figure out our resources. I mean, we're all, I think we all want to support each other. And that's what I love about the Troy Chamber is I think, you guys do a really great job of, it's not just about you and what you're getting out of the members who are sponsoring and who are a part of it, but it's like, how can you help one another? And I love I wasn't even aware of that webpage. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tara. I think it's a great collection of resources that we all can kind of look at. And for fellow Troy Chamber members, now that we know that it exists, it's a place that we can now submit items to you guys as well as this continues to roll out. And as we continue to figure out, okay, how are we going to go back to the new business as usual for the temporary, right?
But even communications, as you guys are getting your press releases and your announcements, make sure you're sending that over, because we still are promoting all of that. It's surprising to see the amount of interactions as people are now reading a lot more about member news. Because right now, since this is such an uncharted territory, the news it seems like some of the news has been at a halt, but there are some success stories from some of our businesses, and we want that to be showcased. I was talking the other day, and with our gyms closing down, you're now seeing streaming. So you can actually, today is Arms and Abs Day, I believe. Yeah, so it's for Shred 415. So there's ways our businesses are engaging, and we're so proud to see how resilient and innovative that they are. So share this news with us. Get us this information, because the more we share, the more we're learning ideas from each other, and that's all ships rise together.
Right.
And the reality of it is that, people sometimes don't understand chambers.
Yeah.
We're servant leaders. All we are here for is to serve you. So we are serve our members and do everything we possibly can to make sure that their business is successful, and we promote them and we work with them and give them the tools they need. So we're open to ideas. We're open to things being sent to us, because it's really our jobs to make sure we're here for you.
Right. No, that's awesome. And I'm sorry, say that again.
That's what I get crazy passionate about this.
No, and as well you should be. You're the head of the chamber there. If you weren't, I would say something's wrong with you, right? I memean, we got to really be passionate. And I want to just kind of call out, we have a couple more comments that came in. Melissa commented on giving recommendations and testimonials. She said, did this on Monday and I already reached 5 new 5-star reviews. I'm guessing that might be on Facebook, Melissa. Oh yeah, she's saying now watching on Facebook. So I think she was commenting on Facebook there. But yeah, already reached 5 new 5-star reviews. I mean, when you're thinking about reaching out and asking for those testimonials or reviews, what I would do is think about, your kind of inner circle of brand ambassadors, cheerleaders, if you're a restaurant, your regular customers, the people who are coming in all the time, you know them by first name. Those are the people you want to ask first. Hey, could you give us a review? Or if it's curbside, even including it on the receipt. Hey, give us an online review, that type of thing. A really way of reminding your customers about how they can help you guys out right now too. And obviously continuing to visit the restaurant is something throughout that can help those businesses too. And I
was going to say, I cannot stress enough, we got to stay positive during this. This is unsettled waters for all of us, but staying positive and kind. I lead with a little bit of empathy. Yeah. So when you see the stress in people's eyes and you see, I mean, some of our businesses are scared. They're genuinely scared. Tell them appreciate them, give them that. I chuckle, but my husband's a financial advisor and I work with financial advisors. What's going on in the market is scary. Yeah. So tell them you're appreciating all the effort that they're doing to help pay attention to this and help find ways, like just be kind. Yeah. Please be kind.
I just posted something the other day that was along the same lines of like, we're getting all these emails from the CEO of every company that we belong to or a member of or a customer of. And it's like, it's kind of flooded, but I was also getting them from my children's school, from the principal, from the teacher. And I'm like, we're getting a lot of these messages and I'm guessing not many people are replying back. So my suggestion was, hey, reply back and tell them thank you. Because it's hard on all of us. It's hard on businesses. And there's a lot of thought that goes into these communications that are going out. And especially when they are businesses that we count on for our public services, whether it's police, fire, the public school system, there's a lot of organizations that are, schools are not completely shutting down. They are trying to provide us with resources to provide some continuity as we get things going. And there was another graphic. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on screen here, Tara. You know which one I'm talking about? That kind of prompted this conversation. So I think it was I'm trying to remember where I found it. I think I found it on Instagram. And right, remember what I'm talking about, the graphic? I'm going to see if I can grab it up on screen here. I found it on Instagram. I'm going to actually pull it up from the Troy Chambers page right now here. So I'm going to go this page right here, and we'll drop this guy in here. So we're kind of navigating, staying within StreamYard here. It'll take just a second for this to load here. So this was a graphic that was kind of floating around on Instagram, and it's making its way through, social media, different places. But I really love the sentiment behind it, which is we don't have to just sit at home and wait for this all to blow over, but let's think about how we can support each other. Here it is. So some of the ideas here: order, takeout, or delivery. If you're feeling sick, stay home. Pay with plastic whenever possible. Get creative about saying hi. Buy gift cards for later. And this is actually a comment that came in on the live stream right now on LinkedIn from John Murdoch. Thank you, John, for your suggestion. He's saying one thing to think about is offering gift cards for future services, regardless of your business. Ask your community of fans to share on social media. And he's saying we've had a few businesses do that near him. So really great suggestion. Is that something that you're seeing some of the chamber members doing, Tara?
Absolutely. I'm actually going out to get gift cards today. So again, already been to a lot of restaurants, but I'm starting to do that as well. I think the thing is supporting them now. You can use the gift card later, even if you're not planning on dining. If it's your favorite restaurant, support them. Pick up some gift cards. You'll use it, but this ensures the fact that they're bringing revenue in, and it's super important to start doing things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a way of helping to ensure continuity. If you're already eating out tonight, but you have the means to do so. And I think that's an important thing. There are some businesses and individuals that are being impacted and they're not going to have the means to do so, or they need to be a little bit more respectful about their budget until they kind of know what's what, right? The next few months, things will settle down a little bit. But if you have the means to do so, help. And one way you can do so is not just by the carry out and the curbside pickup, but by buying those gift cards. And if you have a business, I know there's even like the hair salons and nail places and things like that, where you can't get in, and there's some things floating around about 4 to 6 weeks from now we're going to discover what real hair color everybody has out there. Okay, I get highlights too, guys. Don't get me wrong here, but things like I have a hair appointment, and I think it is in April. So if my appointment cancels, I'm going to buy a gift certificate from my salon, and then I will set that appointment up when they're able to get me back in. So I think that's a really good point there too.
I was laughing you brought that up. My husband goes, "We should do your hair like pink highlights or something crazy. I'm going to see you." I'm like, no, digitally people will see a lot of things.
Right. You're still going to be online. You just won't be in person maybe as much. Exactly. So let's talk about, some creative business offers that you're starting to see from Troy Chamber member businesses, beyond the curbside pickup and stuff like that. What are you seeing people offering? What are the things you're seeing them do?
A lot of them are looking at, just overall discounts, and free delivery seems to be a lot. So we're even seeing it from like our carriers who do like office supplies. What I find actually quite interesting is the amount of streaming services that I haven't seen. I was talking about the gyms. So the fact that you can still work out from home and still be a member of their services while they even stop taking the money for it. So that's the part where it's interesting. They're halting membership fees, but they're still providing those services, ensuring the fact that you are loyal to them as they're trying to be loyal to you. Yeah. So there's just a variety of things that is going on. If I were to mention all of them, we would be exhausted.
Right. We'd be on here for 3 more hours, right?
but this goes back to the fact of going and making sure that you're liking our Facebook page, you're following what's going on Instagram, because these are the things we are posting daily. Yeah. And going back multiple times in a day, because sometimes we're going to have 5 different offers all in one day. Right. And as mentioning things around the gift cards, what's interesting is a lot of restaurants purchase a gift card there, get your carryout at a discounted price, then you have your gift card that you can utilize later for that. So you're seeing a consistent savings for just being supportive. So I think we're seeing a lot of different things going on, and we're just happy to see as we progress how much more people are willing to offer, as long as they're communicating. The more you communicate, the more you tag, the more we share, the more revenue and business that we can help provide.
Yeah. And there's another tip for all of you. So don't just be an active reader when you're online with social media. There's an algorithm that runs on all the social networks. So what I do, and you can see here on screen, I've loved it. And I typically will add a comment. You can see I did that with this one as well. And I tagged my husband in the post because he likes Growlers. So try to, this is another way that all of us can help one another, is start getting more active on social media, not just pushing out your own messages, but in helping and supporting each other, liking it, loving it, adding a comment, 5 or more words is really critical there. Clicking to share when you're able to do so. But, just going through, this cost me nothing to like this post. It cost me nothing to do that. And there's ways that we can help to support each other virtually as well. I'm going to take a couple more comments here that we've got some questions in, Tara, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I want to welcome a few additional folks that are watching us. I think we're up to about 217 views so far. We have Mavita Burris. Hello, Mavita, fellow Troy resident. I know she's visiting a lot of the restaurants. Yeah, she's a rock star. Paul Sherwood. Hi, Paul. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Michonne Stiles is joining us as well. I think, Michonne, you're outside of Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Neverick is joining us. Hello, Neverick. Thank you for joining. We have Pam Lippett, and Pam is saying she'd love to see a session for solopreneurs. Not sure if there are any resources for us. Is there anything through the Troy Chamber right now that you're aware of, Tara, in terms of resources or things that are specifically tailored to solopreneurs or entrepreneurs? Oh, did we lose you? I think we may have froze our screen up on Tara's side. Tara, I can't hear you, so we're going to wait for her to come back. I'm going to keep saying hello to people. Looks like we may have a little bit of a Wi-Fi hiccup happening through her connection, so I'm just going to keep talking here. And Tara, once I can hear you and the video's coming through loud and clear, I'll let you know as well. But I want to remind all of you guys, too, if you're watching this, I'm going to take down our Facebook stream now and pull us back up here on the full screen here. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, You can definitely leave a comment. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. If you're a member of the Troy Chamber or another organization, or if you're a business owner, just drop your business name in the comments, and we'd love to give you guys some shout outs. And for those of you who are joining us on Facebook, you may have noticed that I'm putting some of your comments up on screen. I'm going to scroll through a few of those now. Anna Maria Norman, thank you, Anna, for joining us. Appreciate that you're joining us. Melissa, you're referring to SBA Help, the Small Business Administration. If there are specific resources that you wanted to refer us to there, let us know, or if there are resources that we should look for. I think that might be the answer for the solopreneurs, you know, different resources that are available to those individuals. So thank you for offering that. And then I want to pull this back up on screen for David Lambert. David, thank you so much for joining. I know you're in the wonderful city of Troy, and he's offered up that website for the Troy Chamber for the COVID-19 resources that we just went through. So I'll make sure that that is included in the playback here. So I'm a Troy Chamber member. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the background over my shoulder, right yonder, if I can point to it, let's see if I can do this right over here. And it looks like Tara's back. Hey, welcome back. There we go. Technology. It actually looks more crisp now. It was a little shaky. There you go. You're back. So it's, you know, things happen here, and sometimes with Wi-Fi connections, things get a little spotty. So we just kind of roll with the punches here, and we keep going with it. So I was just welcoming a few other folks that were on here, and Tara, we had one person that mentioned on Facebook to check out the SBA resources for solopreneurs. So thank you for that suggestion. I think that was from Melissa. And I'm just going to throw this up as well. Melissa, I'm not sure, Melissa, if you're a member of the Troy Chamber, but since she offered, you know, there's an organization here that's offering up contemporary headshot. Melissa, are you in Michigan? Are you in the Troy area, or where are you located in the world? If you could let us know, drop a comment in there. So Tara, let's try to make sure we're back up here. We got your audio and video. Can you hear me okay?
It's darker, but
right.
Can you hear me? Or are you there?
Yeah, the video connection's a little spotty for you. It's a little pixelated, but I can hear the audio just fine. So we'll just keep going with the conversation here. So we've talked so far about how fellow Troy Chamber members can help each other. We've talked about some of the resources, and I'm looking down at my notes here. We've talked about some resources that are available on the Chamber website. One thing I learned new from you was that you're continuing to look for the news from members, whether those are offers or resources, and even the press releases and event items, continuing to submit those. So on that note, I'd like to drop something, and I'll put the link up on the screen. I'm doing something through Meller Marketing, which is I'm going to be launching a webinar series for individuals who are in career transition. So for any of you who know someone who may be affected, they're being, maybe downscaled a bit because of what's happening with their business, or they're looking for a new opportunity, I'll make sure to drop that in the comments. But I'm going to turn this back over to Tara. Any additional things that we should be thinking about as business owners, as individuals, or, just thoughts in general about how we can help each other out?
I think one thing is just, can you hear me okay? Because I'm not sure how that's working.
Yep, you sound perfect. Okay. Yep, you sound perfect.
I think one of the things we do need to focus on is making sure we're following credible sources. I think we need to stay calm. I think we need to work together. I think we need to be innovative and creative and thinking of ways to engage with each other. But I will also say your local government is working very hard. I literally yesterday, I was on the phone with the mayor, with our senators, with everyone to try to figure out what's going to happen and how we're going to try to help our businesses. So to stay abreast of that, just pay attention to the proper channels. And again, on that website we had those city kind of listed of what's going on for updates around health, around what's going on for our hospital systems, all of the above. So just trying to stay abreast of the information and not to panic is a big factor. So we need to keep a positive outlook. Hopefully this all passes sooner than we hope, but we just want this to get by and make sure all of our businesses come back to where they should be and start thriving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was actually, when you talk about, relevant sources, I was on a live earlier this week with Lynn Glodner. She's a PR specialist. And we were asking the question of the audience, where do you get your news from? And, credibility of sources is really key right now, because I think we don't want to panic, and we also don't want to go with misinformation and start spreading that more. There's so much information that's out on social media right now. And, there's the CDC and the World Health Organization, and, there's reputable news outlets. And unfortunately, there's some that aren't as reputable. So, definitely consider your sources there. And I'm always like, I'm not going to pass out health information if I'm not a doctor. I'll say drink here, right? I'm drinking right now. I drink honey lemon water every morning, and I make it into a tea in the afternoon. And that's what I'm drinking right now. But that's the extent of that's homeopathic healthcare. That's not like me saying, hey, try this special treatment, that type of thing. Yeah. So really great resource there up on the screen. And I'm just gonna drop my my link up here, and I'm gonna put this in the comments here as well. For those of you who might be looking at or know somebody who's being affected from an employment standpoint and is looking for some additional training, I'm just gonna drop that up on the screen here. Here we go. Yeah. So to kind of wrap us up here, I almost called you Sheila because we were talking to Sheila earlier. But to wrap us,
that is a compliment,
right? Well, you both have similarities in your personality. You're both, very high energy. You're both very passionate about Troy Chamber member businesses in the community, and you're both, yes people too. I mean, when I reached out to you, I was like, hey, let's jump on live and let's have this conversation. You didn't pause at all. You're like, yep, let's do it. How soon can we do it? And you just jumped right into action there. So I was really happy to have that opportunity with you here today.
Thanks. I would say though, all of our team is spectacular. So with working with Jody and Sheila and Tracy and Teresa, we are all working so very hard. So please reach out to us again, even though we're remote. I think we're actually working double the hours, which is, right. is even great. But we have such a fantastic team, and everyone is working hard to support our members. So if you need anything, to reach out to any of us. We're always here for you.
I'm going to put your ladies' profiles up on screen here right now. Let's see if I can grab it up on screen here. So this is on the Troy Chamber website, and let's see if I can multitask and put this in the comments here as well.
And if you see, you can email directly. I'm like pointing at my screen like someone can see that.
Right.
You can email directly. It has our LinkedIn accounts, our Twitter, all of the above. So you know what? Connect with all of us. We would love to hear from you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tara. Any final comments, anything we didn't cover here today, or tell us, what are you doing the rest of the day? You gonna get outside and get some fresh air today, or
I am going to more restaurants, and I'm probably getting a bottle of wine.
Are you red or white? What's your preference?
At this point, I'll take either.
Right?
So it's one of those things. I think for the most part, my day is going to mostly consist of reaching out to people, seeing how they are. Yeah. The more we reach out, the better. I hate to say it, but I look at my family. They're home alone in a house all day. Take a moment to reach out to your friends and family. Just let them know that you're thinking about them. It can get very lonely. And for us extroverts, we're losing our minds being stuck in place. So reach out to people, still be connected. I actually had a member reach out yesterday to me and said, hey, do you want to meet for coffee? I'll bring a cup, you bring a cup. We'll park in an actual parking lot, roll our windows down, and we can talk.
Okay. And that's clever. I love that.
But the reality is that we're going to have to be creative, but let's stay connected any way we can. That's really great. And on that note, since you still have your coffee cup with you, don't you? I'm almost done, but yeah. So we're going to cheers our coffee cups virtually here right now. Put it as close as you can. There you go. We got to try to get the angle right here. There you go. Close enough. Clink. I'm a fat person. Sorry. It's all good. Well, thank you so much. And Melissa, look at the nice comment we got from Melissa here. She's in Royal Oak. She's thinking about joining the Troy Chamber now. So thank you, Melissa, for that nice comment. We're here to help. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. If you happen to be watching in playback, if you have additional resources you'd like to share, drop those in the comments. If you have any questions for Tara about any of the great information she shared today, drop those in the comments as well. I will make sure to get link to Tara so that she can watch those. And then what I'm going to do later on is I'm actually going to pull this video down and put it up onto YouTube, and I'll share that link with Tara so that she can continue to share the messages with the fellow Troy Chamber members as well. So thank you, Tara. I really appreciate your time today. It was really just a pleasure speaking with you and learning about all the great things that you guys are doing and the great tips that you have for all of us. Thanks, Brenda. We really appreciate everything you're doing.
You're welcome. All right, guys, thank you so much. Stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you online again soon. Take care. Thank you.